Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If there's one thing that's been buzzing around the NFL lately, it's the possibility of a blockbuster trade that could shake up the entire NFC South, and not in the way many of us might have expected. Rumors are swirling that the Dallas Cowboys might be ready to part ways with Dak Prescott, and the Atlanta Falcons could be at the forefront of this shakeup. I know, sounds wild, right? But let's dive into what this could mean for Atlanta, and why it's a game changer not just for the Falcons, but for the entire division. First, let's set the stage. Prescott, the veteran quarterback from Dallas, has been a solid presence in the league since he was drafted in 2016. He's a guy with a proven track record, throwing for over 0 yards and 220 touchdowns so far in his career, earning 3 Pro Bowls along the way. At 32 years old, Prescott is still in his prime, and his numbers in 2025 are impressive. 912 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 10 interceptions with a completion rate of 66%, 8% and a QBR of 94.6, which ranks among the top in the league. His EPA per pass is plus 0.15, and his PFF grade sits at an impressive 88.9. He's a quarterback who can orchestrate an offense with calmness and precision, evoking comparisons to Drew Brees when he was in New Orleans, especially when you look at his pocket presence, which PFF rates at 87.2. But here's the clincher. The Cowboys are in a bit of a cap squeeze, with just about $8 million in space for 2026, and their season has been less than stellar. At 6-7, they're on the verge of missing the playoffs. Sources like Adam Schefter have hinted that Dallas might be willing to trade Prescott to free up cap space, and perhaps recoup a first-round pick along with a promising edge rusher prospect. The idea is to reduce their cap hit by around $35 million, which could be a smart move if they're looking at a rebuild or a reset, especially with a team that's struggling and needs to get younger and more flexible on the roster. Now, why would the Falcons be interested? Well, after losing Desmond Ridder to injury, and with Taylor Heinicke doing his best but not exactly igniting the offense, Atlanta's looking for stability at the quarterback position. They've been experimenting with different options, but a veteran presence like Prescott could be just what the doctor ordered. Imagine Prescott stepping into Arthur Smith's system. His experience, leadership, and accuracy could elevate the Falcons' offense to new heights. Right now, Atlanta is averaging around 198 passing yards per game, which is decent but could definitely be better, especially with a quarterback who can push the ball downfield and make smart decisions under pressure. Prescott's 2025 stats show he's still got plenty in the tank. Throwing for nearly 0 yards, he's got a red zone touchdown rate of 52%, and his ability to extend plays and make big throws is well documented. His deep pass success rate of 48%, according to Next Gen Stats, indicates he's comfortable pushing the ball downfield, which aligns perfectly with the Falcons' offensive style, especially with a dynamic playmaker like Bijan Robinson, who's averaging 4.6 yards per carry and can turn any run into a big gain. Adding Prescott could help unlock more of those explosive plays, making Atlanta's offense more unpredictable and dangerous. And let's talk about the potential impact on the division. If Atlanta manages to pull this off, it could represent a seismic shift. The NFC South has been a bit of a mess lately, with Tampa Bay struggling and New Orleans trying to find their footing. The Falcons, on the other hand, have been steadily improving, and a trade for Prescott might be the boost they need to leapfrog the competition. Prescott's leadership and clutch gene, he's shown the ability to rally teams in tight situations, could be exactly what Atlanta needs to push for a playoff run, maybe even a deep one. Now I know what you're thinking, but what about the Cowboys? Well, they're in a tough spot. Their offense ranks 15th in the league, scoring around 24 points per game, and losing Prescott would leave a huge void. They might gamble on Cooper Rush or an emerging backup, but the risk is real. Plus, with Prescott's injury history, especially that shoulder injury earlier in his career, Dallas could be looking to mitigate risk by trading him now while his value is still high. And with the NFL's cap rules, unloading Prescott could free up enough space to address other needs, like rebuilding their offensive line or adding more depth to their defense. On the Falcons' side, this move makes a lot of sense. They're currently 5-9, and their offense has struggled to consistently put points on the board. Bringing in a player like Prescott, with his experience and calm under pressure, could be the catalyst for a turnaround. His presence would not only boost the offense, but also set a tone for the entire team. A veteran quarterback who's been through the ups and downs and knows how to lead a team when it counts the most. Plus, with the Falcons' young core, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, having a seasoned QB to guide them could accelerate their development and help them reach the next level. Of course, the trade isn't without its risks. Prescott's injury history is a concern, and Atlanta would need to evaluate whether he's fully healthy and ready to take on a full season. But given the right medical assessments, it's a gamble worth considering. If they do acquire Prescott, the Falcons could be looking at a significant upgrade, transforming their offense from decent to explosive and giving them a real shot at competing for a playoff spot next year. Looking ahead, the Falcons' front office has a lot to consider. They've been building a competitive roster, focusing on their defense and developing young talent on offense. But quarterback remains the biggest piece of the puzzle. If they can land Prescott, it could be the move that shifts their trajectory from promising to championship contender. It's a bold move, no doubt, but in the NFL, sometimes you have to be bold to get to the top. Now, let's not forget the division rivals. The Bucs are trying to stay afloat, but their secondary has been exposed at times, and this is exactly where Prescott's arm strength and decision-making could carve out a difference. The Saints are in a rebuilding phase, but with a veteran like Prescott, Atlanta could leapfrog them in the standings. The NFC South is wide open, and a trade like this could be the spark that ignites the Falcons' playoff push, setting the tone for a new era of success in Atlanta. All this talk about a potential trade might seem like pure speculation now, but listen, the NFL has surprised us before. Deals happen all the time, and when they do, they reshape the entire landscape. For Atlanta, bringing in Prescott could be the move that finally puts them over the top. A veteran leader who can guide this young core and help them realize their true potential. It's a bold vision, but it's also a realistic possibility if the stars align. And of course, if this trade does happen, the energy around Atlanta will be electric. Fans will be fired up, the city will rally behind the team, and suddenly that Super Bowl window will feel a lot closer than before. The Falcons have been building steadily, and with a move like this in their back pocket, they could be on the cusp of something special. It's the kind of bold, strategic gamble that could define their franchise for years to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So Falcons fans, what do you think? Is this just a rumor, or could we actually see Dak Prescott in the red and black soon? Would he be the missing piece that finally pushes Atlanta into serious playoff contention? Or do you think the risks outweigh the rewards? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and tell me how you see this playing out. Remember, this isn't just about one player. It's about a franchise and a city hungry for success. And as always, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and more of everything Atlanta Falcons. Stay tuned because the offseason is just heating up, and the best is yet to come for our Falcons. Thanks for riding along, and let's keep that passion alive. Because in Atlanta, we never give up and we always believe in the impossible. See you next time.